what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So today's video, I'm actually going to give you a list of gift ideas for programmers, technology, people, geeks, whatever you want to call it. I normally do a blog post on this every year. I've done one since I think 2013, so the last 3 years you can see my blog posts. You can check them out here if you are interested. But this year, I thought I would do a video, and then I'll do a blog post as well. So the blog post will come from this video. But I thought, hey, I might as well do a video and let you know what I think, what I've got on my Christmas list, what I think maybe you might want to have on yours. Or if you're looking to buy a gift for a programmer or someone into technology, these are some ideas, based on my recommendations here. So let's get started here. So first of all, and the first one I put on the list here was this NES Classic Edition. In fact, I'm not even going to point. They'll just appear over there. So NES Classic Edition. I thought this was pretty cool. This is like a old school Nintendo that's got 30 games loaded on it that you can just plug in, and it's got the old school regular Nintendo controller. So anyone from like in their 30s is gonna be totally psyched about this because this is I grew up playing Nintendo games, and it's got like all the best games on there. Super good emulation, like that feels like the original version, and you don't have to like use ROMs or switch out cartridges. Seems pretty cool. I definitely want one of those. That definitely seems really cool. Then next up, I'm pretty excited about this one. I was looking for a new kind of laptop, one that could handle high-end kind of games and was pretty robust, but not too ridiculously heavy. Although this admittedly is a little bit ridiculously heavy. This one is called the RAZER Blade Pro, and the new version of the RAZER Blade Pro comes with 32 gig of RAM. It's pretty sweet. It's got like a high-end, one of the highest-end video cards, so you can run most games in Ultra. It's a 4K touchscreen display. It's insane. I think the price is around $3,000, so it's a little bit expensive, but I am seriously considering ditching my Surface Book and getting one of these, because I just keep on having trouble with the damn Surface Book, and it doesn't play games, even though I don't really play games, but I would like to be able to play games if I wanted to. So RAZER Blade Pro, check that one out. Next, Samsung 960 Pro. Okay, so this is an SSD drive, but it's one of those M2 formats that basically is like a chip. It doesn't connect through the ATA, the serial ATA, right? So it's not a SATA drive. It's more like, I forget what the exact term is for the connector. I haven't been putting together PCs in a while. I've been in the laptop, but this almost convinces me to buy a PC again, because I really like fast SSD drives. So the only problem with this one is I think the 960 Pro is not coming out until January, so I think you could probably pre-order it, but if not, the 950 Pro is out, and it is super blazing fast as well. I'm super stoked about the 960 though, because that's insane speeds. It makes me want to put together a PC just so I can test this sucker out. It's just crazy. It's like commercial grade speeds with consumer price, and I think they've got like a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte version. It might even start at either 512 or 1 terabyte, but it looks pretty dang awesome. I'd love to have the 2 terabyte version of this SSD drive. It's just insane where we've come with drives. Next, I've got the Raspberry Pi 3. This is the updated Raspberry Pi. Pretty awesome, way more powerful, a lot more features and connectivity. I think I talked about the Raspberry Pi 2 and the original Raspberry Pi and the last gift ones, but this is a great one, especially for hobby, like if you want to get your kids into programming, or you want to just create some cool projects or some automation type of things. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with the Raspberry Pi. You can look up kits, you can do emulation, so you can make a video game console like an old Nintendo, right, with the Raspberry Pi 3. I think that's pretty cool. Next is Oculus Rift. I believe this is still only developer edition, but it's still pretty awesome. If you want to experiment with VR, I'd love to play around with one of these things and see what it's like, maybe produce some VR programming. So I think that's a great one to play around with that, because VR is pretty cool stuff. And then I've got I actually did a review on this. It's the LG 34U C88-B. It's a 34-inch, 21:9 curved ultra-wide QHD IPS monitor. That's the one that I have. You can check out my review on that where I talked about it, but I love that monitor. It's awesome. It's basically an ultra-wide monitor that's curved. I also did a video where I talked about why I prefer the ultra wide, but it's an awesome monitor. The price is really not bad on that thing, and it's high quality, perfect. I'm super happy with that monitor. Now, this is an interesting one. Garmin Forerunner 235. I actually have this sucker on my wrist. I recently switched. If you've been noticing in my videos, I used to wear my iWatch all the time, or my Apple Watch all the time. I'm wearing this now because I'm doing a lot more running, and the Apple Watch just is not very great for running. One of the things with the Apple Watch too is that the battery's short. So I finally did the research, went out and looked and said, okay, what is the best sort of bang for your buck? Well, not even bang for your buck. What is the best running watch that you could get that monitors heart rate, that does all the things that I want, that has a decent battery life? And this thing is pretty awesome. I have to admit, it's not 100%. It doesn't do everything that I'd love, but the Apple Watch, I just wasn't using that much of the functionality and features, and it couldn't do some of the things that I'd want to do, like to be able to play audiobooks from it or play podcasts from it. There's ways to hack around to do that, but this thing is pretty awesome. I like it. The battery life is it's like 9 days, and if you run, it's like 3 or 4 days. It's really, really cool, and it gives you a lot of geeky statistics about your run, which I find pretty cool. There's some customizable stuff. You can add apps to it, not the kind of apps that you would with the Apple Watch, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Garmin Forerunner 235. I'm liking it so far. It's my new. It also tracks sleep, which is cool. The Apple Watch does that, but the problem is you got to charge the sucker once a day. So when do you charge it? You charge it when you're sleeping. So hopefully Apple Watch eventually comes around. So my next one is actually the Apple Watch 2. Now I have the original Apple Watch. I'm not going to get an Apple Watch 2 just simply because, like I said, I'm doing so much running. I'm into the Garmin here, but the Apple Watch 2 does have a built-in GPS, which that helps. That's better. If the times that I've run with my Apple Watch without my phone, it's been totally off on the time. So having the Apple Watch 2 with the GPS, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that makes it, and it's also faster, better, but it's still not quite there. But I think it's still a good gift. I mean, I didn't use it as much as some people might be able to get use out of it. I do miss a few things that Apple Watch did have that I don't have here. I don't have Apple Pay. I keep on thinking that I do, and I actually use that a lot. Next up, I've been doing a little bit home automation stuff, but I've been really trying to focus on the basic stuff that's been important. And so one of the things I also did a review on this. It's the SCHLAGE Sense Smart Deadbolt, and it's fantastic. It's awesome. I love having keyless entry to my house. Some people said there's concerns about security. Anyone can. I mean, come on, really? Someone can pick your lock. Fine, it's possible to pick locks. Okay, yeah, you could have some crazy ass security, but I mean, how strong is your door? I'm so okay. Cut a hole in your wall. I think it's ridiculous. As long as it's a decent security, and it is. It's not Fort Knox of security, but it's totally worth it for the convenience. It's so awesome to be able to just punch in numbers. You can use your smartphone to unlock it. I don't actually end up doing that. You could set up a fairly complex automation system that would automatically unlock and stuff like that, but I find just punching in the numbers is awesome. I don't need keys. Along with that, I also did a review on this product, which is the Ring, which is a video doorbell. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about this product, but I like it a lot. It's pretty awesome to be able to answer your doorbell from your phone, and just to be able to have a camera monitoring your front door, to be able to talk to people when they drop off packages for the price. I think it's like $200. Totally worth it. It's easily one of the best things I've bought this year. It's really cool, and I think that most technology people would enjoy being able to answer their doorbell from their mobile phone, and to have the video surveillance. Now this other one, I've got a few of these. It's these little ties. I don't know if you can see them, if it's going to focus very well, but it's called a AUSKIT, AUSKIT twist ties. There's a few different manufacturers that make these, but these are freaking awesome. They're like, it's better than doing the whole, whatchamacallit, where you've got like twisty ties, or you're trying to do like these cord wrap stuff, because you just like wrap this thing around a cord, and I just use them all the time for my travel stuff, and it's real easy. They're reusable. It's better than the Velcro stuff. These are pretty awesome. Next, I've got this ANKER 40-watt 4-port USB wall charger, power part 4. Now, there's a reason why I picked this one out. It's nice and compact here for travel, but it's got 4 ports on it, okay, and they charge it to 2.1 amps, so the max charge, and it has this IQ Smart charging. This has been really useful. Just, take it to a hotel, flip this sucker out, plug it in, and you've got the charging that you need, and 4 is usually enough for me, so I like that a lot. Next up, I had here the Olympus OM-D E-M10 Mark II mirrorless digital camera. I bought this camera for my wife, and she really likes it. The reason why I put this here is because I've got a Canon T5i. That's what I'm shooting on here. I've got I've had T3is and stuff like that. But this is a very, very compact but high quality camera. So if you want the high quality stuff, if you do a lot of travel like me and you want to take pictures and stuff, this is really good. I found it to be of high quality. It also has like a wireless sync and a bunch of awesome features. Next up, I've got the Amazon Basics single monitor display mounting arm. Now this is what I've got my monitor on here. It's pretty awesome, not very expensive, and it's super flexible. You can turn it all different directions. I find this, and it gives you desktop space. I think I talked about this when I talked about monitors, but the nice thing about that is that you don't, the monitor stands that monitors come with usually take up desktop space, and they're unstable, and they're not very adjustable, whereas this thing is super adjustable. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space. It kind of frees you that space, especially if you're doing a sitting desk like I am. To be able to adjust the height of the monitor very easily and move around is really important. Next up, I've got this. It's NYOHO 3.3 foot 1 meter universal 2-in-1 charge and sync cable. So it's MYOHO. They're so awesome, and the reason why is because they don't break, and they have the two things that you need, which is the micro USB and the lightning, okay? And it's attached like this. It's just this is the only thing I need, right? And it's the right length, and they don't. I had some on my last year's gift list, but they broke a lot. These ones seem to be a little bit more durable, and they work really well. And so I just have like 6 of these, and I don't have to try to find the right type of cable. I just use these because that's what I need. Now, if you have USB-C or something like that, obviously that's not going to work. But okay, let's move on here. So the next one is this Lizone, L-I-Z-O-N-E, or Liz1, or whatever it is, Extra Pro 26,000 milliamp external battery. This sucker is cool. I'd like to get one of these because it'll charge your computer. It works with a MacBook, works with a PC. I chose a 26,000 milliamp one instead of they have a 40,000 one, simply because you want to be able to take this on an airplane, right? A lot of airlines restrict it at the 40,000. It's too high. So this one is still going to charge your MacBook, still going to charge your phone, your batteries, all that stuff. It's just having an external battery pack, which is pretty cool, pretty useful, I think. Next, I put up the 3D Doodler. This is basically a pen that lets you like do 3D printing with a pen, so you can draw in 3D. I thought this was kind of cool for creative, kind of a cool desk toy and stuff like that. I'd like to have one. I think it'd be kind of fun to play around with that and see what kind of things you can make. Next one here. This is kind of crazy. I wouldn't have believed this existed, but today it's called a pancake bot. And I'm not kidding you. What this sucker does is it's like a CAD, it's like a 3D printer for pancakes, okay? So it's got a griddle, okay? Or maybe the griddle is something that you attach to it. But anyway, it has the pancake batter, and you give it like a CAD image or whatever, and it draws all kinds of intricate things. If you've seen pancake art, I think it's a pretty cool idea. It's a little expensive, but hey, you know, I think it'd be fun. Next up, I've got the Kano, K-A-N-O, Kano, I don't know, Kano, I guess Kano. Do-it-yourself computer kit. This is something I'm gonna get for my daughter. I think she's just barely not old enough yet, but this is pretty cool. You put together your own computer, and it's a good thing for kids to get into programming and to learn how to build a computer. It seems really cool, and then they can have their own computer. This is, to me, this is like the perfect way to get a child introduced into computers, and it has some programming assignments and basic stuff like that. Really cool. Next up, I've got my autonomous smart desk 2. That's the desk that I'm using here. I can raise and lower it. The camera is actually on the desk here, but I've enjoyed this a lot. It's a really cheap for an adjustable smart desk, like an adjustable standing desk. I just use it in stand mode all the time, but I think it's totally worthwhile. It's one of the best things that I've done, that you know, I burn extra calories, plus I just have more energy, and I like standing up, and it's adjustable, and I can't believe how cheap it is. Now, you do have to put it together, but it doesn't take very long. Almost at the end here, TechMate Universal Car Mount. This is another small one. I don't have one with me, but it's basically this little magnetic car mount, and it is so freaking awesome. I can't believe how awesome it is. You wouldn't even think that something like this would be so awesome, but what it is it's this really strong magnet, and you put it like in your vent, or I've got a version that's a suction cup on my dashboard, and then it's got some strong magnets that you put in the back of your case, or like my iPhone case actually is magnetic on the back, and so then you can just, when you're using your GPS, you just stick it there, and there you go. Because if you've ever tried to drive around and you're trying to, like, you know, hold your phone and watch the GPS, or try to mount it somewhere and it falls over when you know, I've been through that whole thing. I'm sure you have as well. And so anyway, I find it really useful. It's just one of those small little things. Then, so that's it for the main list. I've also got a video where I go through my top 10 programming books. Programming books are always a good gift. There's probably a ton of books on there. You can always check out my book. I've got my book here, Soft Skills, the Software Developer's Life Manual. If you know, that's always a good gift for yourself or someone else. And then finally, you can check out any of my products. I've got a course on 10 steps to learn anything quickly, which is going to be useful to someone in the technology field. I've got a course on how to market yourself as a software developer. So increase your career, your branding, you know, make more money. I've got a course on, let's see what we've got here, 10 ways to make money from your blog. So if you're blogging and you want to get into blogging, this is a good way to actually make money from your blog. And then finally, you know, if you're thinking about investing, I put together a course on real estate investing for software developers, and you can check that out as well. So anyway, that's it for this year's edition of the software developer programmer geek gift guide. I'll be back next year with a new list. We'll see. And you can always check out the old lists, because go check them out here, and you can find there's still stuff that's applicable there. I just didn't I tried to not repeat myself as much as I could. So anyway, that's all I got for you. If you like this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button below, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.